Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. My name is G. Cole, and welcome to Homegrown, where I get to share with you some good music while talking to some great people. Hello world, hope you're feeling as good as I am. I want to big up all my homegrown listeners out there and welcome all the new listeners. If you haven't yet subscribed, please do so we can keep you updated when new material is available. We will be posting new episodes bi-weekly. Want to thank everyone who has been listening and sharing. Please leave us a comment. We'd love to hear from you. Please check out the website homegrownwithgcole.com to listen and for all things homegrown. The podcast is available on iTunes, Spotify, TuneIn, Stitcher, Google Play, iHeartRadio, Radio.com, YouTube, wherever you listen to your podcast, we are there. We're also very interactive. Please follow us on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter at MyGCole. The video of this interview is also available on YouTube. Please subscribe to our YouTube channel. Another legendary vibe, ladies and gentlemen. This is episode 109, and today's special guest, legendary singer, songwriter, the lovely, the talented, the beautiful, Miss J.C. Lodge. Someone's rehearsal today.
What's the matter, baby? You've been crying, your face is a mess. Come in, baby, you can dry your tears on my dress. She's hurt you again, I can tell. Oh, I know that look so well. Don't be shy. You've been here before. Pull your shoes off, lie down. I will lock the door. Then no one has to know you've come here again. Baby, it will be like it's always been before. Come here, honey. Breakfast in bed, a kiss or three. You don't have to say you love me. Breakfast in bed, nothing need be said. Shh, don't say a word. What's your hurry? Please don't eat and run. You can let her wait, 'cause baby, it's been so long since I've had you here. Will you come again? Baby, it will be like it's always been before. Don't go yet. Breakfast in bed, a kiss or three. You don't have to say you love me. Breakfast in bed, nothing need be said. Coffee, tea on me, baby. Breakfast in bed, a kiss or three. You don't have to say you love me. Breakfast in bed, a kiss or three. You don't have to say you love me. Breakfast in bed.
Ladies and gentlemen, we got a great one coming your way today. Legendary stuff, and you know that's what I love. Special guest in the building.
What's the matter, baby?
Just squeeze on it.
You've been crying, your face is a mess.
She has no idea what songs we're playing.
Come in, baby,
I just pulled some of my favorites.
you can dry your
Keep the surprise there, you know.
dress. She's hurt you again, I can tell. Oh, I know
Breakfast in Bed.
in bed.
Big tune.
So 3.
Amazing stuff.
You don't have to say you love me. Breakfast in bed.
You can probably tell who my special guest is, right?
They say
When I say special, I mean special.
coffee, tea on me, baby.
Not regular. Sometimes I got my little English accent pops in whenever I talk to people that, you know what I mean? From across the pond. It's more like Cockney.
You don't have to say you love me.
You get a little carried away, you know what I mean?
Breakfast in bed, kiss or 3. You don't have to say you love me.
Tell your friends to tell their friends.
Breakfast in bed,
It is right here.
just you and me.
Right here.
You don't have
Giving a special blast on YouTube and on Twitch. Those on tune in.
breakfast in bed.
Let's go.
Just you and me.
This is when you wanna sing J. Cole, legal businessman. Bang, bang, boom.
I me say this a J.A. Homegrown with G. Cole, what you say, eh? Well, make them know what reggae music we a play, eh? Hey, this is J, the one and only representing for G. Cole, you know. Check it. Ease out.
And we said them not got no style like we. G. Cole, them not got no style like we. None of them no wicked, no wild like we. Accurate, Kabaka Pyramid representing for the #1 selector and radio host. It's all about G. Cole. Keep it locked. Accurate.
Hey, what's up? It's your girl Kalia. I'm hanging out with your boy G Cole on the Homegrown Show.
Yes. Welcome one and all. It is Homegrown with G. Cole. I'm coming to the Massive and crew live right now. Special broadcast. Of course, we're coming through radio-wise on homegrownwithgcole.com. Also, Real Vibes Live. Rubber Ranks Radio in the UK. Lodge up yourself. Everybody listening across the globe, we got you covered, all right? Of course, I got to thank those people watching in on Twitch, on YouTube, everywhere. Big event in town this weekend. And, of course, we got to do what we do, which is to chop it up with the legends. You know, you get to make our choices and so forth. And them say, yo, like a dancehall thing I go on, have a big thing. Nope. That one going on. Nope. We legendary stuff. If it ain't legendary, we can't have those conversations. So today, my special guest in the building, the lovely, the beautiful, the talented singer, songwriter, and I'm sure there's a whole bunch of other stuff we're going to get into, right? About a producer. All right, we're going to go TV, all of that, right? Talking about the one and only J.C. Lodge. Let me just open up real quick, because here's what happens. You know, they tolerate me for a little bit, you know, but whenever there's special folks like yourself in the building, it's like they got to stop watching it. I know how it works. Like, G. Cole, Russia's thing, we got enough of you. So we're going to talk to Miss J.C. Lodge today. How are you, first of all?
I'm fine. You're making me feel like I should twang too. I'm fine. How are you?
I dig it.
You're doing English, and I'm going to try the American way.
Oh, so we switch it up? I go English, you go...
Well, you've done Yardie, you've done American, you've done English, so I'm doing my American. How does that sound?
It's coming along. It's coming along. How are you? Let me start by saying, how you doing?
I'm very good, thank you.
Awesome.
I survived the flight, and I'm grateful.
That's what, how many hours?
9. Wow. Wait, was it 9.5? It felt like 20.
I hope you slept through some of that.
I did. I always make sure to sleep on the plane. Yeah. But Errol, who I always travel with, manager and husband, he doesn't like to sleep because he feels he's got to keep the wings on.
Oh, he's a co-pilot.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I got you. Listen, it's an acquired skill. Over the past years, I've had to be traveling so much. I've had to learn how to sleep on a flight.
Yeah, to let go.
Let go.
And let God.
That too. I had, because at the end, because I'm like this, especially if it's flying Spirit, which I don't anymore. But you know, then you need God on that flight for 24/7. Yeah. But it is what it is. And again, pleasure to have you in the building.
Yeah, nice to be here, man.
You know, I gotta clear something up. I had some what we call, I guess, music connoisseurs. I'm not gonna say historians, because when I say historians, people think I'm putting some age on it, but connoisseurs. Yeah. I said J.C. Lodge was born in the UK, and they're like, nah, she's Jamaican. Here's the thing. So when it comes to Jamaica, anything that's fire, anything that's dope, anything that's awesome, we claim that. We claim that, right?
Well, that's good.
So
I want to be claimed. I want somebody to claim me.
we love you. They love you. So we're going to clear that up. J.C. Lodge, on the birth certificate, what's it saying?
Yeah. Born in Kensington, London.
I knew I should have bet the money on that. I knew it. I knew it. I knew it. I knew it. I'd have lost half the money because I said London. But, for the UK, everybody's London, right?
Yeah.
Awesome.
Mostly.
And you, so born in the UK, raised younger years in the UK, I presume?
Yeah, till I was 10. I was with my dad. My dad was Jamaican. So he reared me kind of solo, but when he had to go to work, then I was fostered out to an English family. So I stayed with them to go to school. And then weekends and holidays was dad.
Wow.
And yeah, he used to tell people, this is my handbag,
Oh, man. I can relate.
Yeah.
I can relate. Those are the terms I used to use. I said, this is my little handbag right here. Expensive handbag, too. Costs way more than Gucci.
I was a cheap handbag. I didn't take much.
No?
Just give me some coloring pencils and a pad and...
Good to go?
Yeah, I used to love drawing.
Wow.
And coloring, yeah.
Wow. I love stories like those because oftentimes those are unheard, Not to say it doesn't happen. I think it happens a lot in terms of dad being that primary caretaker.
Yeah.
But it's just not something we are accustomed to from a cultural standpoint.
Yes, it's true. It's usually the woman, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. But my parents split when I was 3. Yeah. So I didn't meet my mother until I was in my late 20s.
Like meet?
Meet for the first time.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Wow. What was that experience like after so many years?
I built up so many dreams about what this woman was like. I used to pester my dad, surely you can find her,
Mm-hmm.
And he'd say, if I knew where she was, I would tell you, believe me, if I knew. I don't know. And then what happened was she heard a DJ announce a record that they'd played on radio in England as done by, British-born Jamaican singer J.C. Lodge. And she said she wondered if that could be me because she didn't have any info about me apart from my name.
Right.
And I guess she should have been able to figure out how old I was.
Right.
Yeah, and to be fair, my mother she's not the most maternal type, so she didn't really hold on to much else. In fact, when she finally made the call to speak to me, which was a great thrill, of course, for me, because, as I say, over the years, I had built up all of that. Errol used to say to me, don't worry, when we make some money, we'll get a lawyer on the case and we'll hunt her down.
Right.
So I had that dream. So when she called Gussie Clark's studio one day and they called me and said, a woman called and says she thinks she's your mother. I said, what? But then when we were speaking, she said to me, because my name is June Carol Lodge, and she said to me, is it really June? B's June? That's my dad, B. I said, yeah. And she said, well, why did they call you June? Were you born in June? And I was like, what the... what? All the dreams went crashing to smithereens. Wow,
not what
I imagined at all. How is this woman? She, to have so few details about me,
right? And
you didn't even know why I was given that name. Wow.
Right.
Anyway, so then I kind of got to reality to realize, okay, well, yes, this is your mother, biological mother. She doesn't mean you any harm, but there's a whole lot missing there. That bond is just not really there. And we've tried, since I've moved to England, which is where she is, I've made an effort to, be around her as much as I possibly could. And, she's got my number, but I think there's that discomfort. So there's that little bit of distance that even though she speaks to me, we have good conversation, she won't feel, she's not readily going to pick up the phone and call me.
It's tough.
Yeah.
So
there's always that bit of hurt, but that's what it is.
It's
I
the
had my dad.
curveballs.
I had my dad.
The curveballs life throws at you.
Yes.
And it's, I wonder in cases that you're growing up to, you went to Jamaica, what, like 10 years old?
Yeah.
So technically, those are your formative years in the
definitely.
UK. Was there like a culture shock or so forth when you moved from?
Huge one, a massive culture shock. Because there I was in England loving just recently I mentioned this to somebody because they were asking me about the food change. And I said, well, because I was with Dad on weekends and holidays and so forth, I was used to Caribbean cooking. But as a child, up to age 10, I wasn't really into it.
Right.
Give me my mashed potato and my green peas and my the fish fingers.
Right.
Which is basically mostly what I had at the Foster family.
Mm-hmm.
So I just was more into the bland stuff. So, yeah. But when I went to Jamaica, then you're fully immersed in it.
Right,
There's
right.
no
options here.
No mashed potato and fish fingers that are coming your way.
Mash your green bananas if you want to.
You're right.
But,
And then musically as well, as a child, I loved music always and used to sing along to everything that I heard on the radio and heard my dad playing.
Mm-hmm.
And there are things that I had, favorites I had from his collection, because he had a huge collection of Caribbean music as well as jazz. And, I used to love Ella Fitzgerald, she was one of my favorites.
Wow.
But my heartthrob was the Beatles. So being taken to Jamaica and then, okay, well, here you are. This is what we're playing here. Like, wow.
Different.
I had heard some reggae from Dad, but it was mainly Bob.
Mm-hmm.
I can't remember much else reggae that he used to play. Maybe Desmond Deco.
Right.
But yeah, that was like, wow, I can feel it in my chest. What's going on here?
That bass.
Yeah. So that took and I remember my cousins were laughing at me because, here I was, this pale, skinny thing come from England with this accent and didn't know anything about reggae, which is what I called it at
Reggae.
first, reggae music. And they were trying to teach me the reggae. and I remember, they were laughing at me because I kept putting the same leg and hand forward,
Oh, the dancing wasn't working out for you?
No, not quite. Took me a while. Yeah, so
Wow.
I provided lots of entertainment for them, I'm sure. But yeah, after a while, it just started to seep in.
Mm-hmm.
And I always remember that it was John Holt's Alibaba that I first thought, hey, I really like this stuff,
Wow.
Yeah.
Sir John.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Impacted by the legends right off the bat. How did the journey of music, did you have, well, let's say even prior to coming to Jamaica, getting immersed in this reggae, listen to Ella, other stuff, just a little girl growing up.
Yeah.
Any interest in music in terms of doing it as an art?
No, I just used to like singing along and nobody ever said, oh, you sing well or, have you considered doing music lessons? My dad decorated a flute for me, just a normal bamboo flute. And I remember I used to try and play that along to songs, find notes and stuff. So I must have had an ear for that.
Mm-hmm.
But again, nobody said, oh, you seem to have an ear. It was just no.
Wow.
So nothing along that line. I remember at school I was picked to sing, for an assembly or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
But that's just,
wow.
it wasn't anything that you thought, oh, am I being chosen because this is my path?
Right.
No. I was more seen as an artist at school in England. I remember them hanging a painting I did in the hall and framing it, and I thought, wow, yeah, I'm going to be an artist.
Wow.
Yeah.
So you're an artist in every sense of the word because you paint.
I do like painting. I have done paintings that people have bought. So
Right.
Yes,
Do you still paint?
Not so much right now, but it's not something that I don't want to get back to. It's just what life is
Gotcha.
bringing at this point is more musically led,
Gotcha.
So, and I teach as well. I teach primary school on the side. So I do use art in that way, you know, because I use it with the children a lot to illustrate things I'm trying to explain and even some art lessons at points.
I always wondered when I read about the teaching stuff, I always said to myself, does your class, does your students know? Do these students know that this is a superstar that's up here in front of me right about now teaching me art? Do they know?
No. I mean, it's now and again, like just fairly recently, a black girl, one of the children I teach, she said to me, Miss, I looked you up on YouTube. You're famous. Are you rich? They always come with that, are you rich? Because that goes hand in hand. I go, not quite.
Right.
But yeah, and then she said my age, and I thought, oh, okay, right, moving on.
Darn this internet.
Yeah.
Wow. I always wonder because I'm surprised that the classroom's not packed. You're like, but these people are grown. They're not in the class. Why is he in the class? Why is he in the class? Like, all the fathers, all the mothers are like, hey, I'm coming to art class today so I can meet the teacher. It hasn't happened yet?
No, not quite.
Next week.
Not quite.
Now, the journey of music, sometimes for different people, starts different places. We're talking about a 10-year-old in Jamaica coming up reggae influences all around you. When did the actual process of being a recording artist start for you?
It started because of Errol. Because when I met him, he loved writing and he wrote songs, and he heard me singing around him, and he said, "Oh, maybe you could record my songs for me because I can't sing." And I said, "What, you write songs?" He says, "Yes." "Well, okay, so sing them. Let me hear these songs." And he started to sing. The words were very good. The singing, not so much.
Wow.
And
Keeping it real.
Right? And I'm like, "Okay, so you mean this?" And I'm singing. He says, No, that's not what I did. I did this. And I'm like, "Oh, okay." And so trial and error, we got there in the end. And the song sounded good when we got them together. He banged out the rhythm on the table, and I sang, and then we bounced harmonies on. This is cassette days.
Right.
And then we ended up with this cassette with these songs on, and he said, "Well, let's see if we can find anybody who might be interested in recording them." So that's how we started. That tape got sent to this person and that person for a listen, and tune them sound good, yeah, man.
Right.
And eventually, through a long journey, ended up at Joe Gibbs' studio.
Right.
And E.T., Errol Thompson, the main engineer there, took it and said, "I'm going to give it a listen, and we must come back." And that coming back didn't stop for months.
Wow.
It was months of coming back because there was always a bag of people waiting to be heard, Anyway, eventually he got to that tape and called us up and said, "Yeah, it's all sing pan this tape, yeah." And I said, "Yeah, that's me." He said, "Yeah, I want to record you, which wasn't the intention.
Right.
And
you were trying to sell the songs.
Yes, yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah, I think he thought the songs were okay as well, but it was more the singing. So then he presented "Do That to Me One More Time," a Captain and Tennille song, and said, prepare this, and I did, and then that was only released in the Bahamas. I guess it was a trial. I don't know why it was only released in the Bahamas.
Right.
And then they came back to us and said, "All right, we have a tune for you," and it was "Someone Loves You, Honey." And I had heard it by Charlie Pride. And I learned it, and and then we recorded it, and it was released in September 1980. That was the start.
Wow.
And then when we did an album, because of the success of that single, and the album was called "Someone Loves You, Honey" as well, then on that album we got 2 of our songs on there, which was what we were proud of.
Right.
Yeah. So
that's one of my favorite songs, and we're talking, ladies and gentlemen, for those people listening and watching, and again, we're having a nice convo with Miss J.C. Lodge, and we're talking about this tune right here. I can't help it, I got to do it, you know what I mean?
Did you live in England at all?
Never.
It sounds like it.
Watch a bit of Benson. Oh man.
Share your life every minute, every day and night, and I want you to know that whatever you do and wherever you
Fire Marshall coming to get me.
But you'd have been a baby with this song.
I've been listening to the baby.
In the womb.
I was like,
just be mine. Someone loves you, honey.
major tune. Some of them are a couple years before me, but this is Jamaica. When and all over the world, that's the one thing about making music with longevity, music that stand the test of time. When I play this today, you can't tell me it wasn't recorded and released last week. You know what I mean? Quality music as I go through the things, and that's something that I think in especially in our genre, it's been a little fleeting. That whole longevity, and it's part of the culture, the disposable thing. Let's make it right now, something that's going to get me on that stage. But sometimes the production needs to be this way, the songs need to be this way, that it's gonna be something my grandma's gonna like, it's gonna be something my mom's gonna be like, and it's something that I will like. So on behalf of the masses, I must also say thank you for the music, because I love it. Been loving it. I always wonder, I asked Nadine this once when she was here, because there's some similar, not musically speaking, but I don't know how. It's like I think you and Nadine have a spaceship, right? Where you get in your spaceship and you just fly off, because we don't run into J.C. Lodge at the supermarket. You know what I mean? We just don't.
There's quite a bit of water between where I am and here. That might be why.
and the folks over there too is like, J.C. It's just like if the show is happening, you see the show, and it's always a special thing. It's a treat. It's like I always felt like there was no comparison. Reggae and dancehall, Jamaican music culture, very competitive. Yeah. So somebody's always been compared, not necessarily pitted against, but compared to somebody else. I have never heard somebody in that lane. It's almost like you occupied a space by yourself. Was that by design, or is it something that fell into place?
I think people compare the women in reggae because there's so few of us. Mm-hmm. I think they can't help but, and it seems that way that promoters do that, it seems to me, because usually on shows you put one female on. We're the nutmeg. Right?
The flavor.
Right? It must be that, because I don't know why we have to be rationed out, but usually that's how it is. You get a one on a show. Right. When you have several of us, it's a big thing.
Right.
What, Pam?
What
Nadine?
happened?
We're on the same show. Whoa, nice to see you, man.
Does the promoter know?
Right? Yeah.
Wow.
I don't know. And we always talk and say it's so strange, because Jamaican men in general are homophobic.
Very.
And like to big up themselves about, how male they are, and yet still when it comes to showtime, it's pure man them wants. Mostly.
Viking thing.
So that's the thing we don't quite get. We ladies don't quite get that.
Yeah.
You're so mucho macho.
Yeah.
Why don't you want to see us? I don't get that. Anyway.
Well, I'm glad you brought that up. That'll be my soundbite, because I've been talking to these people about that for a hot minute, and it is in fact the truth. And to be honest with you, I don't know. I don't know if the patrons really like that. Sometimes I don't think that promoters and patrons are really communicating. I think they're just putting out a product and expecting that I put this product out. This is what you want. They assume what you want, right? But they couldn't be more wrong. So 19
could be a bit of that, but I also think that radio plays a role. I think that radio plays a lot of male artists more than female artists.
Right.
And when I think of like R&B, for example, that's not the case.
No.
It's
kind of the opposite.
I would say it's either equal or opposite, more females to male. But in our society, the males are pushed more than the females. And I think that's a bit sad.
It is.
Yeah.
It is. But it's an imbalance, though, because I did a show once or twice or thrice. Whenever I get in the mood, I'm like, you know what? It's all ladies today, right? And 2 hours. And if I do it next week again, 2 hour show, and I'm not repeating stuff. So it's just a testament to the plethora of great music out there by the ladies, right?
We do. Just recently I was on an interview in London, and I don't know if you've heard of Donna Marie. She's big in London, not in London, in UK. Maybe not so known here, but she mentioned that she's got 14 albums, and I said, well, so do I. I didn't know you had 14 albums, But then I don't think the world knows that we've got 14 albums, right? Because mostly it's 2 songs or so. As I say, when people say, oh, J.C., I love your song, I go, yeah. Well, that must be Telephone Love or Someone Loves You, Honey. It reminds me of the movie that Errol and I saw once. Was it Ice Cube? Somebody ran into him on the street and said, it's you, Ice-T. Oh, I got all your hit. And I really relate to that because, not that I'm knocking Someone Loves You, Honey and Telephone Love. Right. I'm proud of them. But I've done so much more. Someone Loves You, Honey is from 1980. Telephone Love is from 1989.
Right.
And as I said, I've got 14 albums and I'm still creating music. So as an artist, it's frustrating, And I can't blame the fans. That's what they've heard. That's what they've heard from radio.
Right.
Where else are they going to hear my music? How are they going to know I've got products out there? They'd have to specifically say, let me see if J.C. Lodge has anything else other than these songs. They would have to seek it out. And most people don't do that,
Gotcha.
So that's the situation for a lot of females, I think, not just for me.
Well, I completely understand, and I completely agree. Personally, I don't think outside of running that Oliver Samuels commercial, I don't think there's many that radio has done in the past however many years. You know, that's just my opinion. You know,
there used to be. I feel like there was a time when radio disc jockeys used to be proud to present something that nobody else had heard yet.
Yeah.
I feel like that used to happen. But these days it seems mostly that you just play what everybody else is playing because you want to, he's doing that, that's cool, all right, well, I want to be cool too, so I'll just play those tracks, you know?
It's true.
And so it becomes very monopolized. You're just going to hear the same
and monotonous too.
Over.
Very, 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 very monotonous at the same time.
Come on in, join the party.
We have we have parties going on in here, ladies and gentlemen. All on.
Mr. Brown.
Blessings, Mr. Brown. Meet Mr. Brown. We have a chair all the way in. What?
Oh.
You sure?
No, you're going to get tired after a while.
You know what I mean?
And Beres is occupying the seats.
Yeah,
Look
you
at
know,
my man Beres.
John,
getting demoted right now. Where are you putting him? He can't go on the ground, you know.
John, it's all right. Trust me, nothing is in tune over there. So if anything drop, it in the tune.
You're on the air already?
Yeah, man, we're live on direct,
we're
man.
on the air.
So if you got warrants, you just got seen. So
I'm still in the background.
You know, but it's you're so right when it comes, and you know, because for example, when we talk about J.C. Lodge and the catalog, right? I think the Selfish Lover, that album, right? The VP album is the one that people talk about a lot, just because again of one or two songs, right? As I talk about my favorites, yes, those are included in a bunch, but Breakfast in Bed is one of my favorites also. You know, and if I was to say my favorite album was probably it's called To the Max.
Oh yeah,
that's my favorite album.
Thank you. You have made my day. You've made my day to be somebody that knows something other than Telephone Love and Someone Loves You, Honey is
right.
You know, I feel
now,
wow.
Are those the songs that you can't leave the venue without performing?
Oh yeah, of course.
Yeah.
In fact, I have some, depending on who I'm working for, you know, you do get sometimes what I feel dissed when they say, just sing it then, man. Because, you know, you get in 5 minutes or 10 minutes. That's the usual kind of slot.
Right.
As a woman on a show.
And that's ridiculous because when I think about reggae music, and I say reggae music because to me it's the umbrella including dancehall and the whole nine, right?
Yeah.
There's levels to this. Right. And to me, when you talk about the levels and the top tiers and whatever the case may be, J.C. Lodge is in the top tier. We're talking about, I refer to as, you know, I don't throw around the word legends a lot. It bugs me out when people throw around the word legend a lot and people associate legend with tenure. So if you're Bob Marley, granny, uncle, nephew, niece, stuff, cousin, brother, wife, cook, mechanic, you might be considered a legend because gray hair I do it and you know somebody that knows somebody. But from a catalog standpoint, the impact of the music, I mean, you are right up there with the best of the best. And to be honest with you, if people are familiar with the catalog, even surpassing many of them, right? Talk to me a little bit about, when I say the name Music Works, right? What comes to mind for you?
Gussie
Clark.
Gussie.
What was that experience
Cute
like with Gussie back in the day?
Oh, Gussie is fun to work with. He's a fun personality. And he's a bit tricky, but, you know, he's a Jamaican producer, and you expect that.
Right.
I think he's very passionate about music. He really did love what he was doing. He's still doing it, so does love. And I appreciate the fact that he appreciated me. He thought I had potential, and he believed in me and did 2 projects with me.
Right.
And I'm grateful for that. He also was one of the first Jamaican producers to have his own crew of writers. And that, I think, is a great thing because Jamaican music, a lot of the music that we love as classic Jamaican music, when you dig into it, you find out that they're not originals.
Right.
And that I've found disappointing along the way as somebody that has become very keen on songwriting.
Right.
But we also have some great classics that are originals. And so therefore, I think we really need to push that aspect of us. We have it within us. People have done great original songs, and we need to do more of that and highlight it and encourage younger people coming up to do that. And I think they are anyway.
Right.
The new breed are doing more of original songwriting. So yeah, Gussie was one of the first to do that. So he had his team of writers, and he had some very good ones, some mediocre.
Hopeton Lindo and a bunch of guys up in the studio.
Yeah, Mikey Bennett was the lead of the pack.
Wow.
To me, I feel so. And Hopeton, and Carlton. Those are the main three that I know of. I know he had others that came along, but I don't know their names. So he had some very good writers, but he also had some that, to me, weren't quite hitting the mark. And so sometimes Gussie would bring material to us, and I'd say, well, this song could work, but I would need to rework the lyrics because they're not up to my standard.
Right,
you know?
right.
And he'd say, well, you have to talk to the writer, you know, because the writer have to approve it. I'm like, yeah, but I can't see, why would he turn down what I'm going to suggest, because I'm trying to improve the product. I'm not trying to just get my name on it as a writer. I'm trying to improve it, because if I don't make those changes, I won't be recording it.
Right.
You know, so we had those talks. And I think that helped me too. It helped me to develop as a songwriter.
Wow.
So I appreciate that as well. But yeah, it was very good working with Gussie because, as I say, he believed in me. So we did 2 projects. We did I Believe in You, which the title was named from a track that was on that album. And that was by Bob Andy. He wrote it. Very
legendary Bob Andy.
Yes, Bob Andy is such a wonderful writer and singer, an artist.
Right.
And I was proud to do that song. But it was a very sentimental song, and the album kind of came down in that same way, very sentimental. And at that time, I'd begun to get a little antsy. I wanted to break away from being this sentimental lovebird. I do not like to be called a lovebird. That's what,
Why not?
It's
a market.
It is a market, but it's a limited market,
True,
I think. And I write songs that are not love songs, but most people haven't heard them because they're on my albums, which most people don't get to hear.
Some dancehall shutter tune from J.C. Lauderdale. You know what I mean? with Bun Tequila. I'm just saying.
Yeah.
I can see that.
We could do, yeah.
You know?
You must hear the dub plates.
Oh, yes.
Real?
It's so funny.
The sound killing vibe?
It's so funny. I think I've got a legacy of dub plates. I think if anybody ever comes across those after I've gone, they're going to wonder, what kind of woman was this with marrow fly and all kind of things? But this is what
but it's on key.
Required.
And marrow flying on key.
Right? Yeah. Anyway, so I did that album, I Believe in You, for Gussie, and Errol and I had the same feeling because we usually have a similar vibe musically. Maybe not so much in other areas sometimes, but
Can't win them all.
It's a long relationship. That will happen. Anyway, so musically we felt like, it's a nice album. It's sweet. It's nice, but we want something with a bit more edge.
Right.
And so Gussie spoke with his writers and stuff, and then he came with a piece of a song at the time, Piece of Telephone Love. Mikey and Hopton had come up with it. And I remember hearing it in the studio, and I thought, but it's not quite what I was thinking. I wanted something with a bit more bite to it.
Right.
And I think maybe it seemed a little R&B-ish in a way. But I listened to it and, put my flavour in, and then they finished writing it, and it happened. It happened. And then that went on the Selfish Lover album.
So that was before the Shabba vibe. The original was just you, right?
Yes, the original was just me.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Were you involved in the whole Shabba, let's get this part of it, or just
no,
they just did that?
Unfortunately, I know a lot of fans get disappointed when they hear that, but a lot of these collaborations, I'm not, not just me, the other collaborations that exist, the artists are not necessarily even in the same country.
Yeah.
No, we knew of Shabba, of course.
Was
Come
he
on
Shabba
now.
guy?
No, not quite. We definitely knew Shabba. Or knew of him. I hadn't met him, but we knew of him. But it was Gussie's idea, or somebody said to him, put Shabba on it. Right. So they did that.
It worked.
It worked. It's good. Very good.
Worked.
Yeah, man.
But I'll tell you this. I love the song. Yeah. I love both versions.
Yeah.
Of course, Shabba, DJ brings the edge in the whole nine.
Yes.
But it is one of those songs with the 2 versions that it doesn't matter which one I hear. If I hear the original, it's not like I'm missing the other. And to be perfectly honest with you, most times when I hit play and look up Telephone Love, even in my playlist, it's the original that I play. No disrespect to Shabba. I love Shabba.
Yeah,
but it's the original
I like the version with Shabba on it. I do. I do often like the collabs because I think it gives it that little bit more grittiness and edge that I'm looking for in my music. So I'm happy with it. And I've done a few of those. One with Tiger.
That one is
love
another
that one.
yeah.
I love that one with
Yeah.
Tiger.
So you got the edge that you want to, and they're trying to keep you in the sweet, beautiful.
Yeah.
A lot of the problem is a lot of times I think producers in general, and the music business of course, the music comes secondary to your appearance, right? So they're gonna look at the appearance and be like, okay, she looks this way. You know what I mean? These songs, you know what I mean? Like you said, Mariah Fly on dub plate. I guarantee you, that's not what they had in mind.
Yeah. And I suppose I can't blame them. I don't have a strong, a belting type of voice. My voice is soft. So that, again,
Right.
doesn't help. It helps me to be sort of pigeonholed as somebody soft, sweet, with some syrupy music, and that's not what I like.
But
so much.
I wonder if the audience, because a lot of as artists, we have a perception and conception of what we are, right, and how people perceive us, right, and a lot of times we go into places and that's not how they perceive us at all. For example, if I am ever in a dance hall at any given time, "Telephone Love" is a huge song, right? I'm not 100% sure it's your most commercially successful song in terms of like "Someone Loves You, Honey." It might not be, but in the dance halls and stuff like that, people look at "Telephone Love" because of the whole Shabba thing and just the vibe of the song itself.
Yeah.
But in all honesty, the dance is gonna more flatten if me draw "Someone Loves You, Honey," believe it or not. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And you're talking about a place where it's a grimy, gritty place.
Yeah.
It's no different from sometimes if you want to kill a dance, you draw gospel.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yes.
And
But
the
that's,
irony
that's
of it.
Jamaican people,
Yeah.
though, they're very complex in that way musically.
Yeah.
With that love of, the biggest, baddest, chop-up looking brother, and him into him, country
Soul,
and western. Country and western, not even soul. Country and western. On the range. And they're
Love
like,
it.
whoa, yeah, mom.
Kenny Rogers for days. Yep. That is so true. It's a
It's so
complexity of it.
bizarre.
Is the atmosphere when it comes to music the same, similar in the UK compared to here? Because one thing I say to everybody, when I go to England, I won't just say London, but England, I see why the Jamaicans love England. I feel like I'm in Jamaica.
Yeah, it depends on where you go.
Yeah.
Brixton or somewhere.
Even just being in, I can't remember the name of the city, but even just being in London overall, not the touristy stuff, but just how people operate. I see where the customs come from. Trying to get a cold beer is like a task. So I realize why now when I love the warm beer kind of a vibe. You know what I mean? Some of the slangs and whatever the case may be, but there's a comfort there. But when it comes to the music and how people appreciate it and so forth, is there a difference with that energy versus that in Jamaica?
I think so. I mean, we don't live in a typically black area. So I wouldn't say we've got a wide population of Jamaicans around where we live. If we do see black people, and Errol is always going, what, me all right? And they go, what's wrong, mate? Or something. And he just assumes every black person is from Jamaica. He still does it up to yesterday. But anyway, and a lot of the time they're either English born and bred, or they've just lost their roots and they have the full English accent, or they're from other Caribbean countries, a lot, Grenada, Antigua, and places like that.
And
We
that
have a
big
lot of those.
African influx too.
There are a lot of Africans, but in our area, not so many Africans. We have a lot of Grenadians and Antiguans living where we live. So the musical culture for me, not in our area so much, not Jamaican music so much. But I know in other areas of London you'll find it more like, Brixton, places where you have a lot of Jamaicans.
Lovers Rock.
Yes, and then the British blacks have their own music form, Lovers Rock.
Right.
Which some people think I'm a Lovers Rock artist, and I always argue that point. How can I be a Lovers Rock artist? My music was not created in England. My career didn't begin there,
Right.
And when these Lovers Rock artists who've been there the whole time and have created their fan base, through the years with their music, they don't necessarily take me onto their shows, not very often, because I wasn't part of that era. I wasn't there,
Right.
So it's a different, seen as a different music form. And I do like Lovers Rock. I like it, but it's just not.
It's not what you are as an artist.
No.
I think when it comes to music, again, tone and lyrics, for example, the whole concept of Lovers Rock, I think people paint Lovers Rock as reggae songs about love. A lot of times, if you're not intricately, like if you think the origins of it, yes, England, right? And a certain type of the Alton Ellis vibe, and it's kind of coming up. But I think because you have the love songs, automatically love song, love us rock, we're tied together, can we rock to your love song.
Yeah.
I kind of feel like that's where they go with it. But
a lot of them are, but there are lovers rock tunes that are not love songs. Peter
Right.
Honeygale has got tracks that are not love songs.
right,
Don Ricardo, and there will be a few more that I don't know of, but I don't know the names to say. But yeah, but basically, generally, they are love songs, and so it's more like R&B reggae.
right,
Yeah, I would say. Yeah, and usually quite sweet.
Yeah.
It's not rhythm led.
yeah, true,
Yeah.
It's more lyrical, the lyrics and so forth. And like you said, the
Yeah.
vocal texture.
Yes.
You're right. You've been doing this for a minute. To what I deem a high level. Your second release pretty much was a smash.
Second.
That was Someone Loves You Honey was the second,
Oh yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And that was number one, number two, based on where in the world you're thinking about.
Yeah.
Most people spend 10, 15 years trying to accomplish that, right? Second release right off the bat.
That was
So,
very lucky.
I mean, is it luck? It's just a dope song, you know what I mean?
A lot of things came together.
Oh,
to
okay,
make
the
that
cogs
happen.
came in the wheel and...
Yeah, because it had to be that song. Whoever chose that song, I don't know who was it. E.T. Joe Gibbs. I don't know who actually chose that idea for me to do, and it must have been based on the voice they heard on the cassettes, thinking, okay, that voice could hear that voice doing this song, and then the musicians that they brought in were the right ones to create that rhythm, because the rhythm is just beautiful.
It's a wonderful composition. So it's
Yeah,
came together
Willie Lindo.
properly. Oh, that's Willie Lindo.
Yeah,
Man, the
he
legend.
was a big influence on it.
It always amazes me when not so much how far the song goes and commercial sales or whatever, but it always amazes me when you hear certain songs, certain productions, the songs that you think are the greatest. Sometimes you realize, oh, there's a reason for that. It's that guy. You know what I mean? Or oh, there's a reason for that. That's that lady. That's J.C. Lodge. The formula just work. But again, it's the magic of you, because I tell you what, give Keisha that song, they still ain't hitting. You know what I mean? Give that to Keisha, give that to Simone. It ain't gonna be a smash. It's because of J.C. Lodge. That's my story, and I'm sticking to it. All right, that's what I'm saying. So. Seeing that success so early and throughout the course of your career, because you've also had major label affiliations from early. Again, most of the stuff, having a hit early, having major label stuff, people strive for that, still don't get it. How much of a help or hindrance, especially being what we deem a reggae artist, was that major label situation? Because sometimes we strive for that, we aspire for the major label situation, and sometimes it's the worst thing that can happen to you. And during the course, you had the BMGs, RS, you had Tommy Boy and whatnot. Talk to me a little bit about major label affiliations as far as J.C. Lodge goes. Is it a help? Is it a hindrance?
I think a major label behind you, it is a help. It should be a help. I mean, they've got the distribution and all of that and the finances to spend on video and promotion and so forth. So it should be a help. In terms of Tommy Boy in particular, they were really more known as a rap label. So it was quite a surprise that they expressed an interest in me, and it was all based on the success of Telephone Love. Then there was a confusion, I remember, when we were trying to work with them and do promotion, that some of the DJs that I'd be doing interviews with would say, so tell us a little bit about this track. It's R&B, isn't it? And I'd say, no, it's not R&B, it's reggae. Really? It sounds R&B. So, there was that confusion.
Right.
The other thing was that because Errol and I are very creative people, when we are in the studio, we don't like to have any restrictions. So although we were Jamaican based and working with Jamaican musicians, our music we didn't want it to be restricted to just reggae. We wanted to experiment. And so being given that chance with Tommy Boy, we did experiment on the album that we did for them. So the track that they chose as the lead-off single after Telephone Love was a ballad that I wrote called Home Is Where the Heart Is. And it was, people have said that, it's a bit like Sade kind of vibe. So it kind of was a mix. Errol was the one that arranged it. And so that being the single, and then they invested in a video for that, I think that also was confusing, because there I was, Telephone Love, kind of dancehall sound, and then this R&B Sade-ish ballad. And the thing is, in America, I think music is very segregated.
Very.
People need to be very clear about what kind of artist are you, and that wasn't very clear. I don't think I didn't know myself.
Yeah.
I didn't know what to say myself. I'm just an artist that likes to do different types of music and put different genres in my music, although the base of it may be reggae, So I think from a marketing point of view, that was a negative thing.
Right.
So the relationship, we didn't see how it was going to progress and develop to what we were hoping for. So we eventually had asked for a release from Tommy Boy, and mutually they released us, because I don't think they really knew what to do with me either, because the main person that was drawn to us and got us signed, Ed Strickland, he had an idea. And then he left the company. He went to Maverick. So, once he went, it was like, okay, what do we do?
It's like life is such a cycle. It's the same thing goes around and around, because even today, I've always felt like when major labels decide, I like that reggae artist, that dancehall artist, right?
Yeah.
They like them for some form of novelty that they have there, and maybe they do have an idea what they would like to do. Don't have a formula, don't know exactly how they're going to go about doing it. But I'm yet to see where they haven't tried to change the artist, or the artists haven't gone over there and tried to be something else. Like, I see you for J.C. Lodge, but I want you to come over here and be something else. But it is what it is. If, like I said, if the machine can propel you, then it's awesome. But a lot of times too, it does constrain.
That understanding isn't there. What you're really all about.
Well, I mean, going through all those experiences, like I said, seeing the mountaintop, having the biggest of the hits, it's 2022, right? Do you still have that same zeal, that same love, that same energy, that same vibe when you go in the studio to go create a song? You're like, Jano, era, low minister.
Yeah, man, we're still very passionate about what we do.
You do?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. The production part, I think, is there. It's good. But to me, the main issue is in how to get people to hear the product. That's the main issue. And you'll have people say, but everything is online. You just videos, YouTube, this platform, that platform. But yeah, you put the product there, but how do you let
the oversimplification
how do you get
of
the
everything
people to these platforms?
Yeah.
That's the thing.
Because the platforms themselves are controlled too.
Yeah.
It's not, especially the artists of today, they do, it's falsification, because it's no different from when people used to come to the U.S. struggling. But when they go back home, they make it seem like, hey, I got a pot of gold. You know what I mean? Everything is good. It's gravy.
Yeah.
So it's the same thing with musicians. Yeah. Sometimes they're like, it's not really like that, but they're saying, they're giving the impression that, it's social media, drop your thing and you're good to go.
Yeah.
But that's why we can't have another J.C. Lodge. We can't have, somebody who, again, I'm sitting here enjoying songs from 1982 in 2022.
Yeah.
Way more than I'm enjoying songs that came out last Friday. So it is what it is. Your daughter's in music too, huh?
She is.
Yeah. Talk to me a little bit about her and how proud of mommy you are when you see her do her thing.
Yeah, Gia Ray. She's her own boss, I guess you'd have to say. When people feel sorry for me and say, "One pick me up," we always say, "Yeah, but she's a crowd." But she's like a boy girl. My dad used to say, "No, man, this is a boy," because she just was, rough and ready.
Right.
Anyway, but she's a very creative energy, and she's a great songwriter. I love some of the songs that she has written. I just think, why can't she get this going? But she has gotten herself involved in cabaret, which pays the bills. And she finds it hard to leave that because she's living on her own and she wants to maintain herself. So that's the issue there. And, we would like to help, but she's in a different genre. Her music is, what would I liken it to? Who are we saying her music is most like? It's a blend. I can't even.
It's R&B.
But hip hop and
R&B hip hop
with a bit of jazz in there. So she would definitely have to find someone who can see the potential of her. Right. It's going to be a niche thing.
Right.
And she says all the while, I'm not about commerciality. I don't care about.
She's an artist.
Yes, she says that she's not trying to make music that, because she's been approached by people. I remember there was a guy who was making quite a few hits in England, a white guy called John Newman. And he met her and wanted her to work with him, and he was presenting her with his own songs, and she'd say, yeah, but that's not me.
Right.
And other people that knew she was doing the work, potentially going to work on this project, were saying, but Gia, do it. Make a name, make some money, and then you can do your own thing. No, because when I come out, I've got to be me. I don't want to be coming out as that, and then I'm going to switch, and then people are going to say, hang on a minute, what's the real person here? So she's stuck to that. So because of that, it hasn't happened for her yet.
Wow.
We have hopes, but, you have to have the drive. She's definitely got more than enough talent. She's got the look. She knows how to handle a stage. She's not shy at all. I'm still shy. Very shy. I'm a shy person. She does not have a shy bone. So, if she were in here now, she'd be, grabbing the mic and performing for you.
I love that, though.
Yeah.
That energy is infectious.
I wish I had it. I don't have that. I'm really shy. I have to psych myself up to get on the stage, and then I become a different person. Once I get into it, then
I get that impression. I do get that impression that J.C. Lodge is on the stage and off the stage. You come alive on the stage, and when you come off, it's like, leave me alone. I'm chilling in the cut. And sometimes I wonder, people like yourself and many others who are that personality, that dichotomy, if you will, have you had the opportunity to sit back and soak in the fact that I've done this, your accomplishments? Because, again, as an artist, you're doing it. It's a day at the office, you know what I mean? But for me...
It might seem that way.
For me, when I think J.C. Lodge, I love my D-Browns, I love my Bobs, and these people are revered artists and stuff like that, but J.C. Lodge is right up there with all those folks to me. So my thing is...
I thank you for saying that. I don't quite agree, but I thank you.
Well, hey, the views of G. Cole does not represent those of the artist. Don't hold it against her. You know what I mean? It is me. But do you get an opportunity to sit back and soak in these accomplishments and say, you know what, I've done it? Because you have.
I don't feel I've done it. I think I'm doing it, and I haven't reached where I would like to reach yet. And I'm praying that I last long enough to get where I want to go before I leave this planet. Because I haven't reached where I would like to.
Right.
I'm not seen as a songwriter, yet I feel that I'm more of a songwriter than a singer. Errol doesn't like to hear me say that, but that's what I feel. That's what I feel. And I would love to get my songs out for other artists to record.
Oh, so you want to write for others?
Well, yeah, I want to write songs and then present them to others and say, would you like to do this? Would you like to do that? Yeah, I'd like.
But why would that be such a task when they have, again, I draw the little songs because it's, the ones that most of the people will know, right? When I'm on the show, I play whatever. I have the luxury of not being a DJ. That's my excuse. I'm not a DJ, I'm a podcaster. So I just share what's in my headphones. Yeah. And people gravitate toward that. But when I listen to the songs you've composed, the songs that are not covers and stuff like that, they're not less effective, less potent, less dope, if you will, than the ones that are. So if people pay attention to your catalog, it should be an honor to have a J.C. Lodge present a song and say, hey, check
Well,
this
I'd like
out.
to get to that point, and I don't think I'm there yet. I think I am presenting songs to other artists, and I'm waiting for them to get back and say, yeah, actually, we like that, and we're going to attempt this one,
Right.
That's where I'm at. I know I shouldn't be exposing myself so much. I'm sure Errol is going to kick me when I come off the air and say, you mustn't say these things. People don't have to know that stuff, okay? Keep that to yourself. But I have presented my stuff to people, and I'm waiting for them to get back to me. And it's, you'd think, it's just...
They just ain't have no minutes on the phone. That's all it
They
is.
do get back, they do say they like it.
Yes, they say they like it, but then the next step, all right, you like it, and I'm waiting.
Later, them, I burn them out real fast. You don't know. You just don't know. All right? Are we going to leave them with that? You just don't know.
We'll
J.C.
get
Lodge.
there. We'll get there.
Pleasure.
I can boast that Freddie McGregor, Ika Mouse, who else was on that track? I did a track for when I used to do quite a few projects with Dr. Dread, Washington-based Dr. Dread, Gary Himmelfarb, and I remember saying to him, "I've got this tune. It's called What About the Children?" It was a message song about how we're taking care of the world and what we're going to leave for the kids. And I said, could we do this as a medley for one of your projects? And yeah, they did it. So yeah, he's quite a few artists that used to work for Dr. Dread, Ras Records, were on that track that I wrote. So I can make that claim that Freddie McGregor and Eka Mouse and I can't remember who else was on it at the time. I think Gregory Isaacs. Yeah, I think he was on it too.
Cool. Man.
So I can boast that, but I want more than that. That's just one track. Come on, I'm waiting to get some feedback from these other artists, and
they'll be
hopefully.
They'll be calling.
They have definitely said that they like the songs I presented. It's just a matter of time. So.
Well, I know you got to go. So you got a lot of things going on. Again, shows coming up on Saturday.
Yes,
right? Pluto and Friends.
Yes.
Right here, Gulfstream in South Florida.
Yeah.
And you're going to be on stage.
I am going to be
rocking
there.
It.
Yeah.
Rocking it.
Reggae-ing it.
I dig it. Now, for those people who, because here's the thing, they need to find you and follow you. Drop the social media for them real quick to where they can find you.
Oh, yeah. Come, Errol, help me out
Timing
with the
is
social
everything,
media
right?
thing. You know me and it. JC Lodge Official.
Facebook.
For Instagram, right? JC Lodge Official. JC Lodge for Facebook and what is that?
And JC Lodge Official on Twitter.
Well,
but mostly and YouTube. JC, that is the number one thing.
YouTube.
JC Lodge Music on YouTube.
All right. Well, you're up now.
JC Lodge Music YouTube. In case you didn't hear that, I know you're dying to find all the songs you haven't heard, other than Telephone Love and Someone Loves You, Honey. Look for them.
Check her out, ladies and gentlemen. She is awesome. And when we trust me, if I'm gonna do a real JC Lodge conversation, it's gonna be 4 or 5 hours. So whenever you're back in town, we gotta sit down. But I know you got rounds to make. I don't want to say thank you so much for stopping through.
Thank you very much, G. Cole. It was my pleasure too.
Thank you.
Yeah.
And we'll see you on Saturday. And it's gonna be a blast.
It will be. Thank you.
You're welcome. Ladies and gentlemen, JC Lodge, go check out the catalog, all right? 13, 14 albums as a matter of fact. And I'm about to slide to the one album thing or whatever. You know what I mean? My people, them stay saying, one album I know, one song I know, Telephone Love. Sad part is, I'm going to drop it for you in a minute. But this one right here is one of my faves. It's called Conversation. JC Lodge, ladies and gentlemen.
Great expectations for love and kind. I'm losing my patience, learning the lines. I've still got to meet him. Ooh, I've still got to meet him. Ooh.
Everybody watching live right now, listening live right now. If you haven't subscribed to the YouTube channel yet, subscribe. It is Homegrown with G. Cole on YouTube. Send me a message in the inbox. Just type in JC Lodge for your opportunity to win 2 tickets, all right? Watch out. I got 2 tickets for y'all, all right? JC Lodge, ladies and gentlemen. One of the dopest, one of the most lovely, one of the most talented. I think turn up. I love it. Want to thank the Massive and crew watching live on YouTube. Watch it on Twitch. Hope, how are you? Large up, Miss Leslie Goodington. Phone's ringing.
Woman, practice what you preach.
Phone's ringing, baby.
Telephone talk, I'm dying for it.
It's ringing.
Face to face, we must meet, man. If it's on the beach.
You sound so sweet on the line. You make my day every time. You sound so sweet on the line.
Yeah, man.
You make my day every time.
HWGC, I hear me. Don't know the phone talking, as a matter of fact, me I come over there. No. Woman, me a dream about you all the time. You know, say that you ever itch up and I mind. Woman, you a dream about me all the time. That's why you keep on calling on the telephone line. She just dip on me mind, dip on me mind, dip on me mind. As me talk to the girl up on the telephone line, when me hang up the phone, me keep riding her mind. As me talk to the girl up on the telephone,
Large up yourself, Bruce.
me hang up, me just
What up, Hope to Lindo?
When you call, I feel so good. Wish you were living in my neighborhood, so you could hang up the phone and rush on over. Pick up where we left off under the cover. Ooh.
if she is blind, she just see me all the time. If she is dead, she hear me all the time. She say me sweeter than when corn is wine. And don't tell the world me's our darling divine. Dip on me mind. If me talk to me girl up on the telephone line, talking about love, she don't miss me no time. If me talking to the girl up on the telephone line, talking to her, she don't miss me no time.
If anyone else could see me, they would never understand. I'm just living out my fantasy. Talking love with my mind. You sound so sweet on the line.
Lots of the Mastermind crew listening in on homegrownwithgco.com. Real Vibes Live. Large up Rubber Ranks Radio every time. West Palm Beach.
Nah, hang up, she only want hear me voice to full up. I love fucking hear me. Nah, hang up, me just hang up, because if you ever hang up, you know say fear dead us. Now this is Shabba ranking, there goes J.C. A peer telephone love between the two of we. She a talk to me, and me a talk to she. But the day is coming that we must meet personally.
I'm lost in you, whatever you speak.
It's that time, ladies and gentlemen. I got to roll up out of here, but I want to say thank y'all so much for rocking, all right?
I feel so weak.
Remember to hit me up on YouTube, Homegrown with G. Cole.
She's mine now.
Hit us up on social media at my G. Cole, Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter
Down the line, she's mine,
for your chance to win 2 tickets, all right? Tell you about the show.
Up on the phone line, she just dip on me mind, dip on me mind.
It's Pluto and Friends.
Dip on me mind.
Saturday, May 28th.
On the telephone,
Doors open 7 p.m. Showtime's 8.
she cable.
Who's performing live, you might ask? Pluto Shervington,
So sweet on the line.
Chalice, Fab Five, the lovely my guest today, J.C. Lodge, Mr. Boris Gardner,
You don't know, say you love her, it
Ernie Smith. It's all legendary things, you know.
like a bird beat.
Backed by the Code Red Band.
You know, I get it one day.
Hosted, of course, by MC Tommy Cowan. Music by DJ Radcliffe.
Whatever you
Everything on here is fire,
hang
man.
up, don't hang
You know the thing set up already.
up, just keep pouring.
I'm telling you.
Fill my cup,
I am telling you.
Just be a love speech.
telephone, lover.
Where's it gonna be?
Come back under the cover.
Sports of Kings Theater,
No.
Gulfstream Park,
You're so good.
501 Federal Highway in Hollandale Beach, all right?
Desperately.
Go to caribtix.com. You can get the tickets, all right?
Lover,
But I got 2.
tell her,
I'm gonna give them away.
I need
Some special people get these tickets today.
desperately.
Love me some JC Lodge, man. Love me some JC Lodge, man.
What's the matter, baby? You've been crying, your face is a mess. coming, baby. You can dry your tears on my dress. She's hurt you again, I can tell. Oh, I know that look so well. Don't be shy, you've been here before. Pull your shoes off, lie down. I will lock the door, then no one has to know you've come here again. Baby, it will be like it's always been before. Come here, honey. Breakfast in bed, a kiss or three.
Gotta roll, everybody. Thank y'all so much.
To say you love me, breakfast in bed.
Nakikinika sa música, Homegrown with J. Cole.
Estás escuchando Homegrown con J. Cole.
您现在正在收听的是 Homegrown with J. Cole.
You're listening to Homegrown with J. Cole.
What's your hurry? Please don't eat and run. You can let her wait, 'cause baby, it's been so long since I've had you here. Will you come again?
And there you have it. Thank you so much for tuning in. It has indeed been a pleasure. Remember, the podcast Homegrown with J. Cole is available on iTunes, Spotify, TuneIn, Stitcher, Google Play, iHeartRadio, Radio.com, YouTube, wherever you listen to your podcast. We're there. Please subscribe to our YouTube channel. Check out homegrownwithjcole.com to see all things homegrown. And remember, this interview is available on YouTube so you can watch live. Be safe, be kind, be good to each other. My name is J. Cole, and this is Homegrown.
Nakikinika sa música, Homegrown with J. Cole.
Estás escuchando Homegrown con J. Cole.
您现在正在收听的是 Homegrown with J. Cole.
You're listening to Homegrown with J. Cole.
Remember, all the music played here on the podcast Homegrown with J. Cole is available on iTunes, Spotify, and all your digital retailers. Please support the artist.